Most people think their future is decided by one big moment, one lucky break, one viral idea, one powerful connection. That's a comfortable lie we tell ourselves so we can stay lazy today and postpone the hard work. Your future is not decided by one dramatic event. It's decided by boring, tiny, daily choices you make when nobody's watching, especially the ones you think don't matter at all. Think about this carefully. Two people wake up in the same city with the same phone, the same internet access, the same 24 hours available to them. 10 years later, one is living a life they once dreamed about, and the other is still saying, I'm just waiting for the right time. What changed between these two people? Not talent, not luck, daily choices. Today, I'll walk you through 6 of them. 6 simple decisions you make every single day that quietly vote for the future version of you. You don't need to get all 6 right today. You just need to notice them and start making better choices one at a time. Let's start with the first one because if you get this wrong, nothing else works. The first daily choice is this. Do you choose comfort or do you choose growth? Every morning, this choice shows up wearing pajamas. The alarm goes off and your brain immediately begins negotiating like a skilled lawyer. 5 more minutes won't hurt. I'll start tomorrow. I worked hard yesterday, so I deserve rest today. Comfort is very convincing. Comfort sounds reasonable and logical. Comfort feels smart. But comfort has a hidden price tag, and it charges compound interest every single year. I once met a young employee who told me sincerely that he wanted to be successful, but he didn't like pressure or discomfort. I smiled and said then, you don't want success? You want a permanent vacation? Look at how people actually live their daily lives. After work, one person collapses onto the couch, scrolling endlessly, watching other people live their lives through screens. The other person opens a laptop, reads something meaningful, learns a new skill, builds something small, not for hours necessarily, sometimes just 30 minutes of focused effort, same tiredness, same workplace stress, completely different future trajectory. People love to say successful people are special or different. When Kobe Bryant finished team practice, he stayed back alone shooting hundreds of extra shots while other players went home to relax. Years later, people called him disciplined. No, he just chose discomfort daily. When Elon Musk was building his early companies, he slept in offices, worked weekends, and learned engineering concepts he didn't technically need to learn but chose to anyway. Later, people called him lucky. Here's the funny part. People say they're too busy to grow and improve, but somehow they're never too busy to binge an entire Netflix series, scroll for an hour, or complain about how unfair life is. Let me make this very practical. Growth doesn't mean constant suffering. It means choosing slightly harder over slightly easier in small moments. Instead of watching another Netflix episode, you watch one video that teaches you a valuable skill. Instead of gossiping, you ask one intelligent question. Instead of avoiding the task you started badly, you do it imperfectly. Ask yourself this question every day, especially when you're tired. Is this helping me grow or just helping me avoid discomfort? One choice every day, comfort or growth. Make the wrong choice once and nothing happens. Make it daily and everything happens. If you keep choosing comfort today, one day you'll wake up and realize your life became very comfortable and very small. The second daily choice is quieter but more dangerous than the first. Every day you choose who you blame. Most people don't even notice they're making this choice. It happens automatically, almost like breathing without thinking. When something goes wrong, the brain looks for comfort again, and blame is very comfortable. My boss doesn't appreciate me. The system is unfair. I didn't have the right background or connections. The economy is terrible. The algorithm hates my content. All of these might be partially true, and that's exactly why they're so dangerous, because the moment you blame something outside yourself, you give away control. And whatever you give control to controls your future. Here's the hard truth nobody likes to hear. The world does not reward fairness. It rewards responsibility. The moment you say this is my fault, even when it's not fully true, something powerful happens. Your brain stops complaining and starts searching for solutions. Let me make this real. 2 people lose their job on the same day. The first one says, my company was toxic, my manager was terrible, I was unlucky. The second one says, okay, what skill do I lack? What can I learn? How do I make sure this never happens again? Same event, completely different future. One stays stuck telling a good story, the other becomes dangerous. When Jeff Bezos failed with early Amazon experiments, he didn't say people don't get my idea. He said, I don't understand customers well enough yet. That sentence eventually built Amazon. When Michael Jordan lost playoff games early in his career, he didn't blame teammates or referees. He blamed his own preparation. That's why he came back obsessed and unbeatable. Blame feels fair. Ownership feels unfair. But unfair ownership is how real power is built. And here's the interesting thing. The moment you stop blaming, people around you change. Opportunities appear faster. Mentors respect you more. Even luck seems to increase. Why? Because responsible people are safe to invest in. Nobody wants to give opportunities to someone who explains why things won't work. Taking responsibility does not mean hating yourself. It means trusting yourself. It means saying, if this is my problem, then I have the power to fix it. Blame says I'm a victim. Responsibility says I'm a player, and players can win. Now listen closely, because this third choice is where most people quietly destroy their future without realizing it. Every day you choose what you pay attention to. Attention is your real currency, not money, not even time. Attention. You can always make more money. You can never get back wasted attention. Yet people spend it like it's worthless. They wake up and immediately check their phone. Bad news, drama, someone arguing with someone they'll never meet, a lifestyle they can't afford, a body they don't have, a life that makes theirs feel small. And before the day even starts, their mind is already exhausted. Here's the joke. People say I don't have energy. No, you gave it away before breakfast. Let me make it simple. If you feed your mind chaos, don't be surprised when your life feels chaotic. I've met people who know every celebrity scandal, every trending topic, every online argument, but don't know how to improve one skill that could actually change their income. That's not being informed. That's being distracted. Look at high performers, not what they say, but what they ignore. When Warren Buffett was asked about his daily routine, he said he spends most of his time reading and thinking and ignores almost everything else. People thought that was boring. That boredom built billions. When Bill Gates was younger, he disappeared for long stretches just to read and think deeply. No social media, no noise. Later, people called it vision. No, it was protected attention. You don't need monk-level discipline. You need awareness. Every day, ask yourself, is this information making me better or just making me feel something? Feeling informed is not the same as being improved. Doom scrolling feels active. Learning feels slow. 1 hour of focused learning per day sounds small, but 1 year later, you're unrecognizable. Meanwhile, 1 hour of random content per day gives you strong opinions and weak results. Choose your inputs or they will choose you. Your phone is not the enemy. Unfiltered attention is. Every day you're building an internal world, and whatever you feed it eventually becomes your external life. Now we get to the fourth choice, and this one is sneaky because it's invisible until it's too late. Every day you choose what stories you tell yourself. Humans are storytelling machines. Your brain is constantly narrating life like a movie, and the script you run quietly shapes your future more than any big decision ever will. Two people fail at the same thing. One says, I'm a failure. I'm not cut out for this. Why even try? The other says, this is feedback. I can learn. I'll adjust and try again. Same event, different story, completely different future. Most people never move forward because their inner narrator is their biggest enemy. I'm too old. I'm too young. People like me don't succeed. I'll start tomorrow. And the funny part, they believe it. They act on it. Then they look around years later and wonder why nothing changed. When Thomas Edison failed thousands of times trying to create the light bulb, he didn't tell himself, I'm a failure. His story was, I've discovered another way that doesn't work. That story kept him going long enough to change the world. When Michael Jordan was cut from his high school varsity team, his story wasn't, I'm not talented. It was, I'll outwork everyone. That story built obsession. Obsession built greatness. Your story works the same way, just on a smaller stage at first. And here's the dangerous truth. Most people's stories are borrowed. Borrowed from parents, teachers, culture, social media, and borrowed stories are usually small, fearful, and limiting. If you want a different future, you must write your own story. The fifth daily choice is almost invisible, yet it controls your results more than most people realize. Every day you choose whether you make promises to yourself and keep them. Sounds simple, right? But notice how many people treat their own word like it doesn't matter. I'll start tomorrow. I'll eat healthy next week. I'll work on my project later. And later never comes. Every time you break a promise to yourself, your confidence takes a tiny hit. You don't notice it immediately, but it adds up. You're literally training your mind that your word doesn't matter. And if your word doesn't matter to you, guess what? Nothing else does either. When Elon Musk was building his companies, he didn't succeed because of motivation. He made brutal promises to himself to work when it was uncomfortable, when he was exhausted, when failure was staring him in the face, and he kept them day after day. That's not inspiration. That's self-trust. Look at Cristiano Ronaldo. He didn't become elite by feeling like training. He showed up on the days he didn't feel like it. Same promise kept repeatedly. That's why his confidence looks unbreakable, because it's built on evidence. This starts ridiculously small. You say, I'll wake up at 6, and you do. You say, I'll write for 30 minutes, and you do. Tiny wins, but they stack like compound interest. The moment you treat your word like a contract, everything changes. Now we reach the 6th daily choice, and this one decides whether everything you've heard actually changes your life or just becomes another video you liked and forgot. Every day you choose whether you show up consistently or only when you feel like it. This is where most people quietly fail. Not because they don't understand, but because they confuse motivation with identity. They say, I'll do it when I feel motivated. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Winners don't show up because they feel like it. They show up because that's who they are. Consistency is not an action. It's an identity. When Stephen King was building his career, he wrote every single day. Good days, bad days, tired days. Some days were terrible. He still wrote. That's why he has hundreds of millions of readers. The reason consistency feels hard is because you're negotiating with yourself every day. Should I do it? Maybe later, not today. That debate is exhausting. The moment you stop debating and start identifying, the energy shifts. You don't ask, should I work on my skill today? You say, I'm the kind of person who works on their skill. End of discussion. So ask yourself tonight, what is one thing I will do every day no matter what? Because that's who I am now. Choose one, protect it, repeat it. Because the people who change their life are not the most motivated. They are the ones who decided who they are and then proved it to themselves every single day.